Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm doing my July wrap up. Now, this is just a few of the books that I've read this month. I have my trusty laptop in front of me with my books that I've read, so I know because they're not all physical books. I've read 2 ebooks, like 3 or 4 audiobooks, so there's some different ones. So the first book I read this month was Mindset by Dr. S.Dweck. So this one is just Mindset reveals what all great parents, teachers, CEOs and athletes already know, how a simple idea about the brain can foster learning and nurture the resilience that is the basis for accomplishment in every area. So this is just how to sort of get yourself out of the fixed mindset and into like a growth mindset. So there's quite a few little notes and stuff in there. So one of my quotes that I've noticed out is, the mental toughness and the heart are a lot stronger than some of the physical advantages you might have. I've always said that and I've always believed that. So that was my first book of the month. I then listened to, that I gave 3 stars. One of them. Next I listened to Notes of a Nervous Planet by Haig, which I also gave 3 stars. It's a lot to do with anxiety and coping with it in society, and all those sort of books. All books I mention I will have in the description box below, because I'm not good at remembering exactly what every book was about. I then read Aristotle and Dante, Dive into the Waters of the World by Benjamin Elias Saenz, which I gave 5 stars, which I absolutely adored this book. I adore the world, I adore the setting, I adore the characters, and I just love it, and I don't want their story to end. I'm telling you now, I don't want it to end. I will probably go back through and highlight for it and annotate, because I didn't actually start doing that until a little bit later in the month. So you will notice that not a lot of my books have got like tabs and stuff. But yes, this is my first 5-star read of the month. I then read Hex Life by a bunch of different authors. It's a bunch of new stories, so you've got Kelly Armstrong, Theodore Goss, Rachel Kane, Sherilyn Kenyon, and there's other authors as well. But this is just a bunch of like stories based on witches and how they deem themselves as not the villains in life based on what they've done. So this I gave 3 stars to. It was good, but it wasn't the best. Like, there were some good stories in there, and then there were some bad ones that I was just like, I really just wanted to sort of skip and not read, but I did read them. And I know I put it in my Instagram, it's like, I know these are a bunch of different stories, but if you're going to put them all in one book, I feel like they should have flowed a little bit better than what they did, personally. I then read Greenwich Park by Katherine Faulkner, and this book I gave 3 stars as well. It was okay, it was good. This is pretty much about this expecting mother who ends up falling friends with someone, and it's just how it all comes about to actually how she knew this woman before, and a lot of things to do with her husband and her friends and her brother and his wife, and just, yeah, this is like a psychological thriller. And it was good. I definitely don't feel like I really expected the end, but there was bits you could kind of see coming. But yeah, that's not too bad. I then read Roomate by Rosie, Danan, which I gave 4 stars to, I believe. Yeah, 4 stars. This book was so good. I was not expecting this book to be as good as what it was. So it's this woman moves across the country, across America, from one side of the country to the other side, and she plans on being roommates with this friend of hers, but he lets her down last minute, and he's let his room out to someone else, so he becomes a new roommate. And let's just say his job is interesting. He has a very interesting adult job. But no, it was really good and I enjoyed the story, so I definitely recommend reading this one if you haven't already. I want to get the other book, the second one, which I can't remember the name of. What's the next one? The Intimacy Experiment, that's the one I want to get. So this is to do with one of the characters from within this one. So there's that. I then read Payback's a Witch, which I gave 3.75 stars for. So this one is based on this female woman, it's obviously a witch. She comes back home to her hometown at this time of year for this big event that's going on, and there's a bunch of different families that are like the, what would you call them, families, that's what I was looking for. Founding families, so she's one of the daughters from that. She has a history with one of the other ones, and it just goes back on what happened and this big event that's happening, and her falling in love with someone else, and just their way of getting back at this one bloke, which was interesting. It was interesting. It was a good read. I give it that. It was a good read. I just think there was just points of it that just, yeah, it could have probably been a bit more well written, personally. I then read November 9 by Colleen, Hoover, and of course it was a 5-star read from me. Now I know a lot of people don't like this book and are not fans of this book, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way it was written, that, you know, you just see them on this one day every year, which is this big day for this one character, but this day does have is important as well to the bloke, Ben. You know, it's all about how he meets Fallon, and you know, they fall in love and meet the other day, same day every year, and what happens, and you know, and how their relationship builds and falls and builds. Your typical romance story. So no, 5 stars for this one. I then read Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, which was on my ebook, which was my little Kindle that I had, and I give that 4 stars. I didn't enjoy this one as much. Like, it was still a good book, still a good story, but I didn't enjoy it that much, and I didn't really enjoy the concept of it. Like, I was really struggling to sort of get into it. It's still a 4-star though, because even though I wasn't enjoying the concept, it is well written. So yeah, not a lot too much I can really say about that one. I then listened to Becoming by Michelle Obama, which I gave 4 stars to, which, to be fair, I don't really like rating these sort of books, but I still like to give some. Like, it was an enjoyable listen, it was an enjoyable read. You know, to see her upbringing and how she come to be where she is, and her thoughts in this matters when everyone was so focused on Barack Obama, to see what she was actually thinking on the sidelines. You know, her thoughts went into this just as much as his, so it was good to see that. But I do want to read the next one. She's got another one coming out which I want to read. I then read One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serle, which I gave 3 stars to. Again, I kind of enjoyed the concept, and I say kind of because I was actually getting very confused at points reading this book and just trying to keep up with what was happening. It was confusing, so I don't really have a lot to say on this one, because like, it was enjoyable, and I liked the character development, like, that was good, but yeah, don't know what else to say. So I'll move on to You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, which I gave 3.75 stars to. Now, this book was good. Don't get me wrong. Again, enjoyed the concept. I just struggled. I didn't really like. Yeah, I like the fact that it jumps like forwards, back and forwards, like between past and present. But I feel like there was parts that could have been written a little bit better. Sorry, Henry, but I'm gonna be honest. Not the best work. Not the best. I then listened to The Remainders of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I can't speak today, guys. It's a long day. Kazuo Ishiguro, which I gave 3.75 stars to. Now, I did enjoy this one more than Clara and the Sun, and this one was definitely more interested in. I don't know if maybe in some way I felt like I related a bit more to it because it was set in England and like sort of this British characters, so I don't know if that just helped me. I don't know. I don't really know how to put into words this one. I then listened to The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, which I gave 4.5 stars to, and I love this book. This one's like a thriller, and it's just like a thriller mystery, and it was just intense. Like the way all the characters related in some form of way to each other was just, yeah, I can't. Yeah, it was good. Like the suspense, tension, it just kept building. And the ending, the way it was left, I'm just like, surely there's gotta be, surely we can look a little bit to what happens next, you know. But probably not. It's just me. That's what it is. I then read One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I actually gave 4 stars to. And I actually didn't enjoy this book as much as her other books. I know this is like I think one of her first, like in a backlist books to what I've read. But I really struggled to get into this book. Like once I was in, like so towards like maybe halfway point, then yeah, I did start enjoying it. So probably from about, I'd probably say, yeah, I'd probably say about that. That's where I started to enjoy that bit. Took a bit more. But yeah, it was still a good book. I again enjoyed the concept, but I'm like, how does someone go missing for so long? You know? I'm like, when you're reading into what happened, you're thinking, you're like, And Taylor Jenkins these books are normally feel so realistic, like they've actually happened, and this one just wasn't, which is why it was only a 4-star, because it just didn't have that realistic feel to it like her books normally do. I then read, so this is the point where I started annotating my books and putting tabs in. I then read Here and Now by Saenz and Montefiore, 5-star read. Oh my god, had me in tears, beautiful story, character developments, the relationships, oh my, I can't put into words just how much I love this book. Like, I just adored it. Like, you can see my tabs, like, just, it's incredible. Life's the most important school, one that really counts. I've got to read another one, where was there? Nothing is ever perfect, you know. That's natural, we don't often realise what we have until we lose it. You know, just some of these things that just was said. Sometimes I sit and think, and sometimes I just sit. You know, just like, how do you just go? This book just had me in tears. I so recommend reading this book, guys. Like, honest to God, this story is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, this story. It's what the character is showing the process and the development of dementia. So it is a tough topic, but oh my god, please do read this. If you know anyone that suffers with dementia, or you know, you work in that environment, and you know, this book is so good because it is so relatable for those. So please do pick this one up. I really do recommend it. Can't recommend it enough, honestly. I then read My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, which I gave 4 stars to. So this was my first Tessa Bailey book, which is her most recent book, and I enjoyed it more than what I thought I would. There's not that many tabs in it, but I did enjoy it more than I thought. Like, it was smutty, spicy, funny, serious, happy, you name it, it was in this book, so it was really enjoyable. Yeah, some points could have been maybe written slightly better, but I did enjoy it, and I did read this book, Destiny Sidwell's book. We read that book club pick for July, which is why I read that one. I then read The Impulse Purchase by Veronica Henry, which come in my Feel Good Book Club box for July. Look at those tabs. Oh my god. Read. 4.75 stars. I love this book. Again, had me in tears. Had me laughing. Had me confused. Had me stressed at times. But this book is so good. So it's about 3 generations. This big impulse purchase that the older generation makes, and you know, them all working together to make this new project, make it happen, and make it work, and it just shows you, and I'm just, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. So please to read this book. I then read Malibu Rising by Jenkins, Reid, which I gave 4 stars to. Again, I did struggle to get into this book. I only really started getting into it probably around sort of as soon as the party sort of started, really, about the 7 PM, so from part 2. Part 1 didn't really have me hooked, then from part 2 onwards, it was good and it was interesting. And I loved the way this was related to one of her other characters from her Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I absolutely loved that book. I adored that book. So yeah, so this book was interesting, and it was good to see how it still wasn't even mainly focused on that character. It was focused on his children and his first wife and what happened there, and like the ending did have me in tears, some of it, because it's just so heartbreaking to know just how much he ruined his chance at a relationship with his kids. Like, he ruined it, and he realised it, but he realised it so late, and it's just, I don't feel like that's a spoiler, because you know, I feel like everyone's read this book as well, but I don't feel like it's a spoiler because I feel like it's quite known that that's what he was like. So, and it's mentioned quite early on that, you know, he wasn't the best. So, but yeah, that was a good book. I then read The Invisible Life of Addy LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. This was my first one of her books, and again, it took me a while to get into it. This was, I gave 4.25 stars to, so I did enjoy it, but it was just a little slow for me at the beginning. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can see I enjoyed it, but it was just a bit, this is taking some time that is taking to get into it, but I love the concept and the story and like the idea of it, and the ending had me going, ooh, bitch. Whew. That ending. If you've read this book, you know what I mean. When the ending hits, you're just like, oh, she's smart. She's a smart bitch, and she playing him. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I did then read 3 sort of Disney books, retellings, reimagined, however you want to see them. I'm not going to talk about those in this video because I'm doing a whole video on them, so that will all be in there. So my last 2 books that I read this month, both of them were 4.5 read, and that is It Happened One Summer and Her Honor Sinker by Tessa. I loved both of these books. I did. I loved them. I said 4.5. I love the character developments, I love the story, I love the baseline of it. My tabs, as you can see, gone crazy. This one, anytime an artist or song was mentioned, I'm like, tab it, like, because that's just so, you could almost create your own playlist really much for this book, just using the songs and artists that I mentioned, which I might, I don't know. But yeah, I loved these 2, and I loved the fact that this one ended, like its epilogue wasn't too far in the future, but this one had the big ending that sort of just brought it all together for both of them. And I would love to have seen, like, between the ending and the epilogue of this one, like that big time period, I would love to see a book for that. So I think that would be quite interesting. And just the characters in it, like the spice in both of these books. I'm a fan of myself sometimes. I was sat there like, oh, it's spicy. But it's all time me laughing and crying, and just, it was just, they're beautiful. So I don't know what took me so long to read them, but I finally read them. So that is that. Those are my books. I've read / listened to about 24 books this month, which is obviously a good read month for me. No matter how many books, I just want to put a disclaimer out there, no matter how many books you read in a month, whether it's 1 or 20, anything is good, and you're your own person, you do what you can, you read what you can when you can. So please do not see this as like, oh my god, I need to be reading this many books a month. You don't. Just read what you can. I have no social life at the moment, so that's all I do is read. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and yeah, remember to keep smiling, be kind, keep reading. Bye guys.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.